Well, you guys like the POCO phone, so today I'm partnering POCO again, but for a different series, the POCO X3 GT, a better phone than the POCO M3 Pro, and it's gonna cost a bit more, but still within the $500 range. The phone itself looks very pretty with the glossy back design and the matte bezel, a good amount of heft, not too bulky, and of course, very lightweight. There's a dual SIM card slot, IR blaster, speakers on top and bottom that gives you Dolby Atmos audio, fingerprint sensor, a USB-C charging point, and the screen is protected with Corning Gorilla Glass Victus, which is one of the toughest glass that survive drops onto hard, rough surfaces from up to 2 meters. They have white and blue option, and I wish they have sent me the white instead of black. Anyway, I know it's hard for you to picture this phone in your hands. So for this video, I'm teaming up with POCO to give you an exclusive preview on Lazada Live. So remember to check the description box below for more details, and I will see you on Lazada. Back to the POCO X3 GT, it is the latest addition to the POCO X family. They are quite well known for its performance, especially for gaming, and if this is your first time watching my video, I did review the POCO M3 previously. Go watch it if you haven't. Now they upgraded the POCO X3 GT with MediaTek's flagship 5G chipset, the Dimensity 1100. Yes, it is future-proof with 5G capabilities and a 6nm processor in an octa-core CPU that operates up to 2.6 GHz. So the smaller this nanometer is, the faster and efficient it is. Over to Antutu's benchmark score. Let's compare the X3 GT to one of Samsung's 2021 model, the Galaxy A32 5G, which has 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. The Antutu score is 226561 according to GSM Arena. For the X3 GT, it scored 587, 368 points. That's twice the amount of Galaxy A32, which is really impressive. Because the Galaxy A32 5G retails at $419 on Lazada, for POCO X3 GT it has two configurations, 8 gigs of RAM with 128 gigs of storage at $429, or 8 gigs of RAM with 256 gigs of storage at $499. Both are UFS 3.1 ready. So by paying a little bit more, you get twice the performance. And not just that, the screen is also better on the POCO X3 GT. It's a 6.6 FHD plus 120Hz dynamic switch dot display that switches from 30 to 120Hz to match the content, and a 240Hz touch sampling for the total gaming experience. So on this phone, you can play the most demanding titles like Genshin Impact. It doesn't stutter even at the highest frame rate at 60 frames per second, or the ultra frame rate on PUBG.
Oh, you shot him.
Yay! And all this gameplay is going to take a toll on the thermals, but POCO incorporated the liquid cool technology to prevent that. I also find that apps install faster thanks to the UFS 3.1 storage. Multitasking is swift as well. For the battery size, it's a 5000 mAh high density battery, which is enough for a day of work and games. So with this battery size, it's gonna take a while to charge it, and good thing they included a 67 watt turbo charger which will get you from 0 to 100% in 42 minutes. It's super fast at charging because in 5 minutes the percentage went up by 10%. The POCO X3 GT features a triple rear camera setup, 64 megapixel main camera, 8 megapixel ultra wide, and a 2 megapixel macro camera. So we are here at Tiong Bahru to test out the POCO X3 GT camera. It's a crazy weather today. So I went around this area just to show you how the camera performs under normal usage, and I'll be honest with you, the video is not as clear as the photos, but it's there if you need it. The camera UI is straightforward. You can swipe between different modes. By default, the phone delivers a 60 megapixel beam shot with the 64 megapixel camera that contains a good amount of details and natural colors. You can, however, take full resolution photos under the Pro mode, which gives you manual controls over white balance, ISO, exposure, and shutter speed. And if you enable the AI feature, it turns the X3 GT into a point and shoot camera. The 8 megapixel wide camera delivers good results on a sunny day. It does capture a lot of area and retains a decent amount of details. The 2 megapixel macro seems to work okay. In the portrait mode, the depth sensor does its job well with the background separation. Alright, I guess we've seen enough of this phone and what it can do. Definitely there are some aspects that aren't that great. For example, the screen is no match for AMOLED brightness and the front-facing camera is not that good. But that's okay, it's not an all-rounder, it focuses on a few things. The chipset that delivers speed, the screen is decent, it's bright enough for daily use, and the battery life is so awesome. Remember, it's a performance-centric phone at a very competitive price, and that's what you're paying for.